Shalom, shalom, Team Safeguarding. God bless you. Have you watched this video of this wonderful woman? This woman in TikTok, she is a blessing. She talks about families, about husbands, wives, children, but particularly about marriage. She's known, she went viral on TikTok, and there was a lot of people, especially from the Muslim community, that really bashed her, saying that she's not who she says she is and all that. But of the last few, I think, months and years, she has been accepted and she's doing fantastic. Today, she's got a wonderful counsel for women. She's talking to women, wives. She's advising you today about how to honor, how to support your husband, especially in things pertaining to children. Let's watch this video.
The way you treat your husband is the way your kids will treat their father. So make sure you're treating your husband with respect, because he is the man that your kids will grow up to be. So if you're disrespecting him, you're also subliminally telling your kids that they should be disrespected, that they shouldn't be respected by their partners. You're setting a bad example for their relationships in the future. So ladies, if you want to make sure your kids have the best relationships in the future and a healthy and happy childhood, teach them to respect their fathers. And I'll tell you how you can do that. When the father says something, you shouldn't intervene or undermine him or try to cut him and say something else, no matter how much you think you're correct. If he's being too harsh on a punishment, or maybe he's disciplining them a little too hard, don't come in and say no, 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 or try to assert your authority. That is undermining him and taking away his authority. And the more you do that, the more it signals that you are disrespectful to your husband and you don't believe in his leadership, and the children will follow your lead. They will see that, hey, he's not worth listening to. And the worst thing you can have in your household is kids that don't respect their father, they don't obey their father. In fact, it'll lead to kids having very horrible adulthoods. They could end up in the hospital, they could end up in jail, or worse, in a grave. So if you love your kids, make sure you respect your husband and set a good example for them.
There you go, guys. So you've seen. So there's nothing beautiful like what she said. What she said is exactly what is needed. If you're going to be a woman that is married and you talk trash of your husband, especially in front of your children, what do you expect? Are you expecting your son to respect the father when you talk such things that are not close to godliness anywhere? If you're going to be talking bad, ill things, talking nasty things about your husband in front of your son, in front of your daughters, how do you expect your daughters to respect their father? How do you expect them to look up unto him as a role model to their future husbands? How do you expect your son to emulate their father? They can't, because all you do, all you say, all you talk is badmouth your own husband. Have you forgotten that two are no longer two but one flesh, the Bible says? The day you accepted to go down the aisle with that man, you left you and you became him. He left him and he became you. So the two of you are no longer two but one flesh. You must think alike. Talk, act, behave, do things the same. That is marriage. Marriage is two people that come together, they merge, and they form one union. And that is why you hear the Bible says, two are no longer two but one flesh. How can you then start cutting your own finger and not expect blood to gush out? How can you then start splitting your own nail and expect pain not to be there? If you're going to badmouth, if you're going to talk ill, if you're going to be nasty, rude, all these words that we know out there about your own husband, don't forget your husband is you. So there's going to be effects that are going to come there. Blood is going to happen. Hemorrhaging, all these things. The relationship will have effects. There's going to be consequences of what you do. The lady is advising women and is saying, if you want your marriage to succeed, you must understand who you are in God. You must understand what relationship and marriage are all about. she is encouraging every woman that if you want your children to respect their father, if you want your children to honor their father, it is fundamental that they see you behave the way you're supposed to behave as a wife, as your husband's friend, as a equal partner in that relationship. But if you're going to be discussing your husband with your daughter negatively, because you can discuss your husband with your daughter positively. You can sit your daughters down and you can talk to your daughter and you can tell your daughters, oh, I would want and I would wish you have a boyfriend or a husband when the time is come, like my husband. My husband is the best thing that ever happened to me. You know, you can have a positive talk with your daughters about your husband. You can let them know that he's a good man, he's a loving man, he's a kind man, he's a supportive man, he's a provider, he's a shield. All these things that God does for you or for the family through him. That is a good positive talk that you can talk to your daughters about your husband. What you cannot do with your daughter or your girls is to discuss anything that is wrong about your husband with them. That is not role modeling them. Don't forget, he is the father of your daughters. So when they think of him negatively, it's going to affect their life. And you cannot expect them to see him the same. They will not see him as a role model. They will not see him as a motivator. They will not see him as a person that is loving. Because if you're telling them that my husband is rubbish, my husband is useless, your father is, I would rather have married a wheelbarrow. So please be a good wife, be a good woman, and I pray that this woman has inspired you today to be a great and a wonderful wife, not only to your husband, but also to be a great mother that is going to inspire your children to honor their father, regardless of whatever differences. I know sometimes marriages come with challenges. There are issues that happening in there. People do find it sometimes even very hard because of whatever reasons that has come in between you. But even when you're going through those challenges, it is still fundamental that you do not talk bad of your husband. I know sometimes people want to vent, people are angry, people are screaming, people are shouting, but you can do this, it's all okay. It's actually allowed in the Bible. The Bible is very clear that you can be angry, but it says do not let the sun go down on your anger. So it's not a sin to be angry. We are human, flesh and blood, so you can get angry. But just make sure before the sun go down, sort the issue out. Yeah, but also ensure that even if you have parted ways, I don't know, sometimes things go very wrong and people end up divorcing or separating. Even at that time, you still cannot talk bad of your husband or your ex, if now it's ex, because you have parted ways. You can't. Because don't forget, anything that you say about this man that is bad, that is wrong, that is contrary to the love or the will of God, is going to affect your children. Regardless of whether you have parted ways. You can discuss this with other people, you can talk with whatever, I don't know, your mom, your sister, your confidants, but not your children. Because your children see their father as a role model. So, even if you're co-parenting, you cannot be telling your children or speaking to your children and tell them, oh, your father is a useless man. You cannot. And if you are thinking that by saying that or trashing your husband with your children is going to give you joy, it's going to give you some sort of peace. You know, sometimes people say, that man put me through so much. Well, guys, I know probably you're not liking this video because you're thinking I'm really becoming a lawyer for men or even men who do bad things to women. No, that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to help you as a woman of God, as a mother, as a wife out there, that if you want sanity and if you love your children, you cannot do some things. What that video has taught us is that if you want your children to thrive, because I mean, if your own relationship or marriage has not worked out as you thought, as you planned, then why would you not want your daughter's marriage or your son's marriage to be okay? And the only way to do that is to ensure that you put in the pillars that are okay. The father put in the pillars. Even if you're co-parenting, don't talk bad. And this does not only sit on women, also men. On the other side, the coin is the same. Flip it doesn't matter. You cannot talk bad of the mother of your children. Your ex-wife, your wife, your part, it doesn't matter. You cannot go and discuss, that lady, that woman, that mother of your children with the children and tell them that she's useless, she couldn't do anything, she was all over the place, she was doing this and this. No, you can't. Because don't forget, this is their mother. And you as a father, you are really not helping your children when you think that you are talking bad of their mother. They are not finding it funny. If you are finding that funny, they are not. Don't forget that this is their mother. This was your wife if you parted ways. This is your ex because maybe you are not living together. But this is their mother. Hello? This is their father. So please, I hope you found that video benefiting, and I pray that as a woman, you are going to do what it takes to ensure that you do not talk bad of your husband. Support your children by showcasing how your husband is beneficial into their life, and they will turn up. Okay, I'm Jeff from Safeguarding Watoto. Please subscribe to our channel. We're on the road to 20,000 strong safeguarding family around the world. And definitely share this message. Put your comment about what you think about what this woman of God has showcased us today. God is going to bless you. See you very soon in my next video. Thank you.